everybody, and welcome to the Rocksmith 2014 live stream. Yes, this is the actual developer live stream put on by the people that make the game Rocksmith 2014, the fastest way to learn to play guitar. And, they say when life closes a door, it opens a window. Not here. When life closes a door, it opens more doors. It's our second pack of the doors. We have 3 songs coming up this week. We will play all 3 of those that are in our current DLC pack on the stream today. Plus, we will play some Blue Oyster Cult with our friend David Stevens, who did the Backtrack Spotlight this week. So we've got all that, plus some Ernie Ball giveaways, some DLC giveaways, and some silliness, because it is our weekly live stream, and we do like to indulge. So let's start off with this week's trailer, the gameplay trailer for this week's DLC. Here's a look at that Doors DLC, 3 brand new songs for Rocksmith 2014. Take a look, and we'll be right back with our first show.
I found an island in your arms, country in your eyes. Arms are chainless, eyes are lined. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through. Oh yeah! Made to see, week to week, day to day. The other side, bring on through to the other side. Bring on through, bring on through, bring on through, bring on through. People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. Come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange. Well, I think I need a down about an hour ago. Took a look around me with a wind blow. With a little girl in a Hollywood bungalow. You a lucky little lady in the city of light. Oh, just another long thing, yo. City of night. City of night. City of night. City of night. Wow. Oh.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the first song of our stream this week. Naturally, I'm wearing different clothing, and then the appearance of Jason Kokol should let you on to the guess what, Jason? You're being pre-recorded.
Oh, my God, where am I?
You're home taking care of your son like a responsible father. Good for you. Brian McEwen, you're just on lack of sleep. You have, you've been...
I got some sleep.
You've been burning the candle at 3
sleep,
different
man.
ends, and I want to know where you found candles with 3 different ends, man, because...
I borrowed them from Seth Rogen.
Oh, good for you.
Pineapple Express reference.
Our first song is L.A. Woman. This was actually one that I saw a lot of people hoping would be in the pack when we announced it. They were like, oh, what a great guitar song, what a great guitar song. And what it is an 8-minute guitar song.
Yes, it is.
So
much to the demise of Senior Kokol here.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Yeah.
I mean, people may not realize that, but it's not that we don't like long songs. It's just that long songs do take longer to track.
It's like
and
doing two
to
songs.
build.
Yeah.
It really is like doing two songs. With a runtime is 7 minutes 56 seconds. That's 2 by All American Rejects. You know, that's
and 18 Green Day songs.
So with that in mind, looking at the what's the name of the thing? The Horizon.
Progress bar.
Yeah,
or
think of the
whatever.
progress bar, the Horizon. It's like full of tiny little things. So that also leads me to believe that there's not a lot of repeating phrases and a lot of things you can get away with.
Not too many. No, there are a few, but there's some things that are kind of similar. So there's some gestural stuff that's linked together.
Should we tell people that we didn't practice?
Yeah,
Yes.
we didn't. We just
Yes.
we realized that we have to. do
It's
this.
been a busy week, so this will.
This
I
is
think
a
I
sight
reviewed
read.
it like several weeks ago, possibly the bass arrangement. Who knows?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I
you
did, and he tracked it, but we haven't looked at it in weeks.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we cranked it up to 100%. Of course, that's not
Yeah.
natural, but yeah. Well, then let's give it a shot. And if there's anything you want to add at the end, if you still have energy to speak after "L.A. Woman" by The Doors, this is one of 3 songs in The Doors Song Pack 2. Which is available now on all platforms. Everything worked out just fine this week. It's available on everything, everywhere. So that's pretty groovy.
How does this go again?
It goes a little something like this.
Oh, my mom used to sing this to me. that opening part.
The prepared piano part.
Yeah. You're going to play a long song like this, don't tense up.
Yeah.
Relax.
Kind of hoping you pick up master.
City of night. City of night. City of night.
We gotta get you some sleep, man. Over the top. So I should point out at this point, sort of touched on it before, we're playing the songs at 100% when we do the stream, out of a sense of this is probably what you're aspiring to do, to play any of these songs on 100%. And of course, this is not the natural way to play Rocksmith. We certainly don't expect you to sit down on a song you've never heard before or never attempted before and try it at 100%. So the game is going to naturally, with dynamic difficulty, start you at a lower position. And then you will build up to 100% a little bit at a time. If you feel like a song is holding you back, you can always go into the riff repeater, which is what we do here, and intentionally force it to 100%. But also, if you find that you've gotten in over your head and the game is not downshifting the song to your natural skill level, you can also knock it down in riff repeater. So don't feel like you have to play it perfectly the first time out. That's what I'm saying. What you're seeing here is
this part.
Oh yeah, remember when the bass got difficult? That was fun. It's a great riff, though. Woo. I feel like you should have do a little.
My fingers are locking up.
Well, if you want to tag out, just let me know. Do you just want me to do the left hand and do the right hand?
Yeah.
Does that help? Okay. I can do that one riff without looking and without paying any attention, but that's it. Did we leave out those lyrics? That is a nice little bass bend you're doing there.
Bending the whole body. This is what happens when I skip lunch.
Yep. And sleep. Deadlines are not for the weak. Deadlines are for Brian McHugh.
Cody's giving me such a look right now.
It was a look of approval, I think.
No.
No, I'm pretty sure it was an approval. That was a "you go, Brian" from a fellow Brian. I'm here for relief. You good?
Yeah.
I wish I had a little bucket of cold water that you could soak your hand in between takes. You ready?
Here we go.
Proof positive that Rocksmith is a co-op game. When I get home, my wife's going to say, "How many songs did you play on this stream?" "Oh, 1.5. No, Coco doesn't need any help. He's able to play the whole guitar part by himself. Well done.
La Woman.
Co-op.
Yeah. We didn't plan that. That was pretty fun.
That was pretty good.
No, yeah, that was. You think they don't know that we didn't plan that?
It's like, I'm tired, Dan. Can you play this part?
Sure, I'm happy to help. Together, we got 96.8%.
Dan is my left-hand man.
That's right. I am officially now your left-hand man. Seemed very bluesy. Seemed very much, you know, sort of in the box, really, for most of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sliding around that's a little tricky. The cool thing is there's a lot of call and response. I know we've talked about that on the stream before, where the vocalist is doing one thing and the guitarist answer. Sometimes they're doing it together. Sometimes Jim Morrison would say something, Robbie Krieger would answer. And so that happens quite a bit. That's kind of the crux of the main part of the song of the verses. And there's there's just some there's some very literal things that he's doing that's hard to read, like the like little single note picking in the chords.
Within
like,
the
those
chord.
are what he did, and that's it's hard to get that exact, but that's how he
That's
did it.
as
So
close as we can get.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there was one thing that we changed because it was weird. So there's a part where the whole song is basically an A something. A blues, sort of A major, sort of A minor, and kind of pivots. But there's a part where it clearly modulates to C.
Yeah.
The bass is playing C and D, and the piano is also playing it. But for whatever reason, Robbie Krieger's still playing A and G over those, and it was so dissonant that we
This is
had
a rare
to,
case. Rare case.
yeah,
where we
rare
actually
case where
decided
we had to change. We just because that guitar part's tucked down in the mix so much that when we were playing it and we were reviewing it, we're like, oh yeah, no, it just
sounds wrong.
It just sounds wrong.
Yeah.
So we changed it to the rhythm guitar plays C to D there in that part, and that's like where.
Yeah, one of the few times we've kind of been obnoxious about actually like notating incorrect things when someone played a minor chord instead of a major.
Yeah,
the bass line to "This Love Comes to Mind," where the bassist plays
a half step away from everyone.
Everyone
in
else
octaves.
In octaves,
it's just
and live they do it correct. But,
Yeah,
but I
and
mean, in the recording and it's buried down there. It's like, ugh.
It's there.
So we put it the way it is on the recording, and people are like, "You have a wrong note in the note track." I'm like, they have a wrong note in the recording.
Right.
So
at some point, you have to serve the song rather than.
Yeah.
So in this
the
case,
recording.
we decided it would actually draw more attention if we had notated it correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think with the cases where we didn't do it, it was just so clear that because it happened so many times, like with that Maroon 5
Yeah,
song
he played
we were
it
talking about,
wrong every time.
every time. And it's like
Yeah.
whether it's hey man, it's all notes, what's wrong and right, you know what I mean? Like so, but when everyone's playing in octaves and he's playing one note away from everyone, whether that was intentional or not, we just kept it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what the recording was. We'll keep it.
Yeah.
The integrity of the recording. But there's some things like I think in the first game there was a note in like a song where it was just like, wow,
Yeah.
that's what he plays.
Actually,
though.
in Satisfaction, the very first song
Yeah.
on Rocksmith 1, there's a part where they flub and he overshoots, then undershoots the note he was going for. So it's like it's a chromatic encirclement,
Right.
is what it's called. But that's not what he was going for. And we actually decided to just leave those notes out since it was like
Right.
the first.
It's going to be so confusing for somebody's
it's like,
first
Yeah.
experience.
And it's like, it sounds really weird. I was like, please put it in. It's going to be funny. But no.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
instructional.
It's going to be disastrous.
right. That's the hard part about doing this sometimes is, if you're in a guitar class with a teacher and they're saying, show me how to play the main riff of X, and if there's clearly a mistake in that riff that, it's the same, played the same way every time, except every once in a while someone flubs it, a guitar teacher's not going to teach you
Right.
the
The
mistake.
guitar teacher's going
And
to
I-
teach you what you expect to hear from that riff.
Yeah.
Right.
And at the risk of going long about this subject, YYZ was another one we did like that, where you note tracked it two different ways. You went exact note for note what was on the recording, and then we're like, but the riff, everybody knows what the riff is. It's kind of like, it's the average of the way he played it.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes he just like miss a string or like play something a little bit late. Or,
Right. Well, we had an advantage there because Geddy Lee played his bass part basically perfectly every time, and we knew exactly what it was.
Yeah.
We knew it was supposed to be in unison or in octaves, depending on how you look at it. And so every once in a while, when the guitar notes weren't lining up quite right with the bass, we were just like, well, I'm going to make a second version where
It's
he
just-
does,
yeah.
where it is that, and it was much easier to read and play. And so
I can't remember which one we ended up putting in the game.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, there was lead 1 and lead 2.
Okay,
And one of
yeah.
them is like, okay, if you were in a guitar class, here's how we would teach it to you. The other is like, you want to literally play what Alex Lifeson played, that you play this one. And so sometimes we'll do that. If the case, but lately we haven't, we've been getting away from that, where it's like, okay, if it's a repetitive riff, let's just
Right.
do what it is instead of being pedantic jerks. Which I'm all for.
I was going to say, Pedantic Jerks is one of my favorite bands. Actually.
Yeah, they were great. They kind of opened for like Sex Pistols or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's the difference between those crappy free tabs you find online and our stuff. Is it's curated and we think about this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for your attention.
Hashtag we care.
Hashtag we care. And thank you for playing LA Woman. I know that was a beast.
Yeah.
Hey, my wife says she loves me more every day, so let's throw this back to the guy that she loves more than me. We'll go back to the regular studio. See you soon.
Well done.
Yeah, see, that's my wife. She digs me more than she digs that guy. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. And, I've been watching the chat during that ridiculous segment. The performance was ridiculous. The information was pretty cool, I thought. And, of course, the number one question about that segment is, where is my free stuff? Which does say, hey, maybe it's time to do the first giveaway. Why don't you show them what they're going to win, which is the Ernie Ball base pack. Here's the first thing that we have to give away today. Yeah, thanks. Dig that great music, baby. Yeah, so here's what you're going to get. You're going to get 2 sets of bass strings, neither of which are the bass strings in this photo. What I have are the purple sets, the Power Slinkies set, and I have 2 of those because that's what we got this month from Ernie Ball, so that's what you get. Still, again, ain't cheap strings, kids, so it never hurts to have a spare set around, so you'll get 2 sets of Ernie Ball bass strings, plus a strap, plus some Wonder Wipes, which keep your guitar nice and clean and shiny, and your fretboard moisturized, and your strings clean, so that maybe they won't rust as soon as you touch them. You know who I'm talking about, you people with the acidic hands, and you sweat and things instantly corrode. Well, if you use the little Wonder Wipe wipes, you can actually get some of that oil and grease off of there, and your strings will last longer. Plus, of course, a peg winder that doesn't really work on most basses, a dozen Ernie Ball picks in heavy, because bass is heavy, dude, and 3 of our picks, the Rocksmith logo picks with little R's on them. Very rare, but I will throw 3 of those in there as well. All this can be yours if you follow what Jason Paradise says here in the chat room. He's going to do a raffle. And that's like waffle, but with an R, as many people have noticed. And we will not send you waffles, but one person will win everything that you saw there, except for slightly different things in the string department anyway. And yes, I will ship internationally. We have tried to ship to Russia twice, and both times we got a not so polite, no thank you, you're not allowed to send anything to us. So if you live anywhere else, it's not a problem, but we will need your name, your address. Your phone number is only used in case FedEx can't find you or UPS driver needs to confirm where you live. We don't keep any of your information, but yes, I send stuff internationally all the time. And whoever won the base pack last week did not send in their information. Guys, get this stuff off my desk. I don't want it on my desk. I always get more stuff anyway. So if you are the winner from last week, please do send in your vital information so that I can send you a box full of free stuff from our friends at Ernie Ball. I thought you'd like that. Wouldn't you like that, Brian Pody?
I would.
Wouldn't you like that too, Greg Barr?
Sure.
We would all like that. So you're just basically thumbing your nose at us because we can't win. We're ineligible.
I didn't see a disclaimer.
You know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. No. Hi, and welcome to the show, and thanks for being here.
Hello.
Greg, did you transcribe this next song, or
I
did
did.
Brian? Because you are both note trackers.
That is true. I tracked most of the notes. I left some out just randomly.
Good for you.
Nah.
Yeah, just keep them gussing.
It was a
Yeah,
test.
Exactly.
invalidate
You know?
everything Jason Vocal said in the
Exactly,
earlier
right,
segment.
Yeah, I never think about what I'm doing, actually. It's just,
But you're doing Break On Through to the Other Side, whereas LA Woman was like a nearly 8-minute song. This is 2 minutes 37. So this was a short
good.
day for you.
This was
is
a
what
short
you're
day
saying.
for me, yeah. But there is some extra material in there. I transcribed the organ solo because it's so iconic and awesome. And we figured that needed to be in there. So it's,
Sure.
It's really fun, and that's the arrangement I'm going to play. Because there's not much in the way of lead guitar going on in that spot anyways.
Okay. I mean, that's the distinctive riff. We've
Exactly.
talked about this in the
Yeah,
past. Is
totally.
if you can hum a part of a song and that's not part of the guitar track, there's a good chance that it might show up somewhere in the guitar track or as an alternate arrangement within that song, because we want you to be able to play what you think of when you hear that song in your head.
Yeah, and it's so iconic. And it actually lays out really well on guitar.
Okay, because a lot of times keyboard parts don't. It's very awkward. You're
A
like,
lot of times,
why would
yeah.
you make that jump? Oh, because it's a completely
Right.
different interface.
I think I talked about a couple weeks ago, too, the like close voicing versus the open voicing, and how guitar is kind of laid out in the vertical manner where the notes are pretty far away from each other, as you go down. So in piano, they're the opposite. it's spread out horizontally, so you get really close clusters of notes. And so for this one, there's kind of that kind of chord going on, and so it gets a little bit stretchy on guitar, just to get that, you get a third here, and then you get a second here. So you get those really tight clusters. But other than that, it lays out really well, and this is not even too big of a stretch at all.
Right.
It's a nice little challenge. So
Okay.
yeah.
Shall we do it?
Yeah.
Let us do it. It's Break On Through to the Other Side, one of 3 songs available on all platforms this week. We had no issues. I'm really happy when things work the way they're supposed to work, man. Yeah, you can find these 3 songs in the Doors pack, or you can buy any individual song you want. You will save a little bit of money if you go ahead for the bundle, of course. And I'll take a peek at the chat while they're playing.
You know the day destroys the night, night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, yeah.
Our winner is Let Me Smash Bro. Congratulations. I will send you some Ernie Ball goodies. Hey, that looks like a bass line I can handle, Brian. That does lay out rather well. Papa Palpatine says, where can I get that cool brown shirt? Would you believe it's maroon? We were actually trying to fix the camera earlier today. It's totally not brown. It's like a very dark red. It's a mochaccino today, yeah. These Rocksmith shirts are not publicly available, sorry. One of the reasons is that there is a fashion label in New York City, a very successful one, called Rocksmith. And, there's kind of legal issues with us making T-shirts that say Rocksmith on them when there's a company called Rocksmith that makes T-shirts that say Rocksmith on them. So. It's a great chord. Is that an E7 sharp 9?
It is the fabled Jimi Hendrix chord. It's just a
Oh,
different.
is it?
It's the
just
same
voicing
kind of chord. It's just a different voicing. But it's actually arguably more funner to play. It's a big handful of a chord.
Yeah,
kind of just wrap your whole hand around it, and it just has.
And just
thing.
go at it.
Yeah, basically, that's what he did. And I actually found video evidence of him playing this. There's not a lot of video evidence of him, but there was one, and I saw this exact chord. I'm like, yes. Perfect.
There's not a lot of Doors video. There's certainly not a lot of
not.
Official Doors video online, because I went every week. I go fishing for hey, I'll put an official video up as part of the thing. And this week I was like, oh boy, what do I do? They were famously on the Ed Sullivan Show, and Ed Sullivan, not exactly the most expressive man in the world, right? He was known as the Great Stone Face. That was his nickname, because he was just so he got a really big shoe, and he was he would move, but he wouldn't change his facial expression. He said to the Doors, you guys should smile more. So that's kind of brilliant right there. But yeah, finding that clip of them playing, playing People Are Strange on Ed Sullivan was kind of funny, and it's there's not a lot out there.
Yeah.
And even that was I think that a fan uploaded it from their DVD. I don't think that was an official upload.
Yeah, I found one video of this one that was a live video. But it had that chord in it, so I was happy about that.
Yeah, so you could get confirmation on that thing.
Yes,
see, we sweat the details. We try to find out what they're doing, and then we try to replicate it to bring it to you.
Yeah, and it's a weird voicing. I've never really played exactly that kind of shape. It's just a weird one to do. So.
Anything on the bass? I mean, it seemed like it was pretty straightforward. Were you tracking the left hand on the organ?
The bass is just the organ, yeah.
It's cool because it just never leaves this position.
Yeah, and I think that was either Brian or Jason's recommendation to put the open strings in there. And it made it way easier because I had it going,
Constantly
which is
hopping
still
back and forth
doable,
like
but it's just the
tequila
whole thing is
all of a sudden when you play it
exactly,
that way.
tequila.
But yeah, you just never move from that
Right.
7th fret. You just
Yeah, I made it.
hang
I
out
made it
there.
very easy on you guys to stay in one position. Yeah, so it works well too.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, it's time for a short break because I'm sure you need to go to the bathroom. We all need to go to the bathroom, don't we?
I already did.
Oh,
Not anymore.
did you do it during that song? So what we've got now are some DLC codes. We'll give away some Steam packs for this content. So if you'd like to get the Doors 2 pack, that's this raffle. And as somebody found out the hard way, you must be following our channel to win our raffles. It's the only thing we ask to make it eligible. Sure enough, it seems like somebody's name was picked and they had not been following, so they did not win. Boom! So if you're not following, follow right now, and then follow whatever Jason Paradise tells you to do to enter the giveaway for. We've got 5 of those codes to give away for the Steam DLC for the Doors Pack 2. In the meantime, we're going to show you a success story from the 60-day challenge. If you are looking for something to gauge your progress as a guitarist, sign up for the free 60-day challenge at rocksmith.com. It will track your progress every day that you play an hour or more in Learn a Song or lessons. You will. You got me. Sorry, Anthony's making me crack up over on the wheels of steel. It will count towards your 60-day challenge, and the whole goal is to show you where you started compared to where you wind up at the end of 60 days. It doesn't have to be 60 days in a row. 60 days whenever you have an hour to spare. So take a look at how that system works for Jamie, and we'll be back with the Backtrack Spotlight and some Blue Oyster Cult after this.
My name is Jamie Bell, and I'm 25 years old. I'm from Maryland, about 20-30 minutes north of Washington, D.C. I have picked up and tried to play so many musical instruments in my life. Piano classes, trombone, ocarina. I first got interested in learning the guitar from comedy guitarists, so I would probably want to follow in their footsteps and write my own stuff and really, jam out on the guitar with that. Let's do this. Nope, that's not what I want. What is it? Oh, I see. I was doing it. That started out rough, got better, and then got back to being rough again. Oh. But then got better at the end. I'm a firm believer in that if you just keep going and you're determined and you just keep going at it, you're gonna get it eventually. This is day 1.
I'm getting better at recognizing the strings just by the feel on my fingers of how thin they are and like where they are in relation to my other fingers. What the f was going on there? I worked on bending the string up, which is really hard to do, and the thing was I was being way too aggressive with it. Ooh, I'm sorry, I look like a feral beast when I'm playing. I feel like the biggest, rockaholic out there. I'm just like, man. I feel like I'm doing pretty well. Aerosmith's Walk This Way is really challenging, and I'm not anywhere near 100% difficulty.
Oh, damn it. It's that same one every time. At first, I really didn't think that I was cut out for this. I did not think the guitar was an instrument for me at all. And then around week 3 or 4, something happened. Everything clicked into place, and suddenly things were just coming so much easier to me. And I had this whole mental shift where I just said, I could be one of these people who knows how to play the guitar.
Walk This Way, I'm just working on speed. Hopefully some lessons will help me out with that. So I'm looking to having that in the next 3 to 5 days.
The thing I like best about the 60-day challenge is that it forced me to keep going, and it forced me to keep progressing, And you know, when I was having my troubles in week 1 and 2, and I like normally would have just stopped, given up, moved on to something else. But with the 60-day challenge, it pushed me. It pushed me further than I've ever gone with an instrument before. Next time I'm in a situation where I'm getting really frustrated and I want to just give up, just keep going, because odds are you can do it. Like, you can pretty much do anything if you just practice it enough.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Rocksmith live stream. This is the Rocksmith 2014 developer live stream. There's one of those developers now. It's David Stevens, our QA ninja. Hi, David.
Hello.
And if you're just joining us, what we do is every week we play through the weekly DLC, plus we do one song from the past that has been lovingly dissected and explained in the Backtrack Spotlight on our forums. So if you go to rocksmith.com, go to the forums, that's a little chat bubble thing on the top of the menu, and go to the DLC section, you will see a series of things called Backtrack Spotlight. And that's where our note trackers and our staffers and sometimes our QA lead will actually go through and dig in and explain why a song works the way that it does or sounds the way that it does, or look closely at the technique or the history of a song that you probably are already familiar with, but maybe you'll learn a little something along the way. And, of course, that song was suggested by you this week, and I was really happy because it's one of my favorite songs, too. It's Burnin' For You by Blue Oyster Cult. What drew you to this song? Because you were like, when are we going to do that on a Backtrack Spotlight? It's like the week that nobody has time to do anything else, and you can do it for us all. So
it was my own fault.
Yeah.
I just kept mentioning it every meeting to kind of be snarky about it. And,
but what led you to that?
It's a great song.
I like that the floating head of Jim Morrison is still there. We lost the doors. Hey, that's a great look for you. Yeah, it's just because it's a great song. It's just a song that you had an affection for, and you were like,
I hear it on the radio all the time. And
sure.
I mean, I love Blue Oyster Cult, obviously. But,
I do too.
Don't Fear the Reaper's a great song too, but everybody knows that one. And
I have a soft spot for Don't Fear the Reaper because every couple has a romantic song. That is my wife. That's the song for my wife and I is Don't Fear the Reaper. We're very morbid people and we like story songs, so
good.
There's that. But Burnin' For You is actually the song she likes to play more in Rocksmith. And now that I'm playing bass, which she normally plays at home, now I know why. Because playing this, I had a lot of fun doing the bass line.
Oh, and Godzilla is great too.
Godzilla is great too. And so is the song.
Exactly.
So, if you're interested, Blue Oyster Cult's Burnin' For You is available as DLC. Is this Rocksmith 1 or Rocksmith 2014 DLC? This is back to Rocksmith 1, going all the way back.
2013.
And that DLC that was released for the first game does work with the second game. If you're on the consoles, it should all just be in the same shop at the main menu. If you're on Steam for PC or Mac, you can do it, but you have to currently own Rocksmith 1 on Steam in order to use Rocksmith 1 DLC in Rocksmith 2014. Something we've asked Valve to take care of. They're not getting to it anytime soon that I can see, but it's nothing that we can control. In the meantime, some people have just said, look for sales, and there are sometimes sales on Rocksmith 1. Makes it a little easier, but it should work like it does on the consoles. It just doesn't. But in the meantime, what the hell? You know what? Buy it. You'll like it, and we're going to show you why right now by playing Burnin' For You by Blue Oyster Cult. Coming up later, we do have some more giveaways. We have the Ernie Ball giveaway for guitar accessories. We have some strings, some Ernie Ball Cobalt strings actually are in the mix now. And, of course, we'll also do some Q&A after the song. So if you have any questions for what it is to do Q&A, to do QA for our game, David is here. We've also got a room full of note trackers hiding just off camera. And we can answer anything that isn't, when is this band coming? Because that's already being discussed in the chat room as I speak.
Home on the highway, home
one of the reasons David is playing the rhythm pack instead of the lead path is the reggae feel that you're going to hear when we get back to the second verse. I meant to bring that up before we started.
We can talk about it after.
But we'll talk about that afterwards, too. Keeping the ear out.
Time is the essence. Time is the season. Time ain't no reason. Got no time to slow. Time everlasting. Time to play B-sides. Time ain't on my side. Time I'll never know. Burn out the day. Burn out the night. I'm not the one to tell you what's wrong, what's right. I've seen sunset world freezing hell as it worked through. But I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you.
This is such a fun song to play.
Burn out the day. Burn out the night. I can't see no reason to put up a fight. I'm living by giving the devil his due. And I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you. I'm burning for you.
You know, it just so happens that today somebody was asking on Facebook, what if a song has harmony leads? Would you guys get rid of the rhythm part and put the second part on there so the two guitars could play side by side? And I said, well, a lot of times that is the rhythm guitarist's part. Like, if it's not overdubbed, then it would just be there. Otherwise, we might put it in as an alternate lead. But this, I then quickly asked, I sent Jared an instant message. I'm like, what are some songs that we actually do that in? Because I know that there are some, but I can't remember what they are.
This is a great example.
And nobody mentioned Burnin' For You. And it was only when I saw you do it, I'm like, oh, he did the rhythm chart, and it had the harmony part for the lead in it anyway. So this is a perfect example of exactly that thing.
And that riff is completely iconic. Like, you instantly identify the song.
Yeah, you know what I noticed right away about this, and I know I do want to get to the reggae thing, but I was like, so this is their other big, like, radio hit. The bass line is the same as Don't Fear the Reaper. Yep. You know, so I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, oh yeah, you know what people are listening for a Blue Oyster Cult song.
I mean, it's a simple chord progression, but they make it sound so heavy.
Yeah, these guys, I mean, it's kind of funny because now when we think of heavy metal, we think of, bands with a lot more gain and a lot more aggression. But this was this is like one of the prototypes of heavy metal, and you pointed out that they're like one of the loudest bands.
Yeah, these guys in Deep Purple, they were kind of in competition
for
trying to be the loudest. So,
and Spinal Tap.
Well,
Spinal Tap, one of England's loudest bands.
That's a whole other ballpark.
But you played the rhythm specifically so that you could show off some of those reggae chords, which is not something that you would expect in a heavy metal song or even in a commercial-friendly pop rock song, which some people consider this to be. So yeah, what's the skinny on those reggae chords?
So they the lead guitar just follows the bass during that part, and the rhythm plays on the 2 and 4, which it kind of frees up a lot of space in the song, gives it some room to breathe. That way, when it comes back to the pre-chorus and the chorus, it's kind of that much heavier.
Right. But you don't expect to hear these like 2 and 4
you know,
things.
a lot of bands do that, and you don't really realize it. The Police are notorious.
Well,
for
sure,
it.
yeah.
There's a bunch of Rush songs that do that.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Kind of all the rules are out the door with Rush, right? Like, hey, I've got a crazy idea rhythmically. Let's do it. Okay. You know. Yeah. So it's a great song. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Let's see what we've got in the. Why, hello. How are you? Jared McAdams just came in, and there's the Peanut Gallery mic. Hi, Jared.
Hi, Dan.
How you doing?
I'm real good. How are you? I'm actually not very good. I've got a little chest congestion, so you'll have to...
Is that why I smell bourbon?
Well, you know, I'm calling it a hot toddy.
Good
but
for you.
It's really just whiskey I put in the microwave.
I believe that was the original name of that Irish ballad, Whiskey in the Microwave, that Thin Lizzy wound up doing.
I think that's right.
That Opeth shirt. Oh, everybody likes your Opeth shirt. That's it. Nothing is confirmed. For crying out loud. It just means that we're fans of music in and out of the game. Taking a peek. Nice bass, Dan. Thank you. That is the Epiphone viola. Hell of a lot of good bass for not a hell of a lot of money. We were just actually saying in between one of the other I like playing that bass, and we didn't do anything to it. Like, it just showed up. We took it out of the box. I haven't tweaked a damn thing. It's the original strings and the factory setup, and we've been using it for like almost a year now. It's kind of great. Can I sneak in for a backtrack spotlight? I don't know, Papa X Palpatine. Are you a song? We only do backtrack spotlights on songs, not people. Sorry. Let's see. What else do we have in here? I'd see some things about bands and people liking the bands, and yeah, all right. How do you? I have a QA question for you from JRox SD.
Shoot.
He says, how do you QA the volume levels due to the fact that there are so many different setups for so many different users? For instance, I know acoustic tones sound a lot louder for me. How do you? Are you just relating? Are you just waiting for the?
Simple answer is use my ears.
Okay.
I mean, that's all there is to it, really.
But there's the calibration. Sorry, that's the word that was
yes.
escaping me. Are you just sort of expecting that the loudness is going to be dictated by the person's individual instrument, and that if they've calibrated, then it should sit well in the mix?
We kind of have to expect that they're calibrated.
Right.
So, I mean, some songs, it's obvious that the part you're going to play is going to be a little bit quieter. And I just, you know, if a tone or something is kind of screaming outside of what you're hearing in the song, obviously I'll bring that up to the guys. But they do a great job of tuning everything to begin with. And Brendan is our tone wizard.
He's our tone chaperone.
Very rarely do I ever have to address something with the tones.
Right. Let's see, SC137. I answered this one in chat, but I guess they missed the answer. Do you know if I can use my existing USB audio interface, like a UR22 or an Apogee 1, or is the bundled cable mandatory to use it with a Mac? You do have to use the Realtone cable. It's looking for the Realtone cable. It's designed to work with the Realtone cable. That's part of the magic. It's the only thing that we ask you to do. You can buy the Realtone cable separately, but it'll be cheaper if you buy it bundled in with one of the editions of the game. The good news is that any Realtone cable from any edition of Rocksmith will work with the Mac version on Rocksmith 2014. The cable is universal. Thankfully, everybody agreed to that one that needed to agree to it outside of our building. So thank you, partners, for making that easier for all the players in this case. Let's see. Dan, how are babies made? Ask your mother. I'm not touching that one.
It's a family stream.
Yeah. Wow, okay, there's a lot of people just calling out bands that were super loud when they went to see them. Motorhead almost made me deaf. I couldn't hear for a week after a Typo Negative concert. Local H is the loudest band I've been to. All of that fun stuff. When does Jarmac SF get to host again? I've noticed that there is a contingent that would like to see me ousted as the host.
I think it's what I like to call a groundswell.
Yeah. It's, so are
the
you
tide of popular opinion is turning. I'm basically the Donald Trump.
I was going to say, does that make me Bernie Sanders? What do I have to do? Should we have an on-air debate?
Oh, that's such a good idea.
My fellow
Americans.
Americans.
That's such a good idea, yeah.
This guy is a moron. I can't believe he's beating me in the polls. Let's see. I would listen to Jason Paradise if he were a song. We would too. Thank you for your service, Jason Paradise.
Jason Paradise.
For people that don't know, Jason Paradise is one hell of a music game player. In addition to Rocksmith, he is a really big competitive Guitar Hero and Rock Band guy too. So he knows of music games, and we are happy to have him here. What is the level of the microphone in Windows? What should it be? Asks CWiz. 17%, 50%, 100%? When you go into the sound properties in Windows, where should that slider be set?
I believe the default is 17%, which translates to minus something dB. I don't
minus
remember.
Something.
It
That's
used
like
to
that
be,
key of A something that Kokol was talking about earlier.
This is something that you can now. We originally, when we shipped Rocksmith 2014, that was always overridden by the game. It would set it to what we determined to be the best all around level, and some people said they wanted to tweak the mic input level, so we made that a user selectable value, and off the top of my head, maybe if Brian's watching, maybe he knows what the original value was, but I do think 17%. Or whatever that translates to in dB, what was the original default? But I could be wrong about that.
But yeah, feel free to monkey with it. What do we have it set for here? I think we have it a little higher ourselves, but I'm not sure. We're actually looking at. Oh no, there it is. It's 22. Inexplicably, that's what works for us on our rig. Your mileage may vary, but you will probably, if you crank it to 100%, you may get distortion. On the input level going into the game, and it may make it a little harder to read. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing that needs to be dialed in to a specific spot. It's not more is better. If you overdo it, it will give you bad results.
Okay. I'm just looking. Oh, the other. So one of them is 22 and one of them is 17. Lead guitarists, man, they've got to be higher in the mix. We don't have a boost pedal, so I guess I'm just going to do it that way.
Can I get a little more of myself in the monitor?
Yeah. Okay, so, all right. Well, here's one last question before we get to the last thing. And this is great. What does the negative dB and plus dB mean anyway? Well, this is where I can actually use my degree if I can remember it. So decibels is a rating of sound pressure, right? It's not really volume, but it's usually assumed to be volume. It's how hard those waves hit you when they come out of the speaker. So every 3 dB is actually doubling in volume, right? Or is it doubling in pressure? It's logarithmic. Yeah. It's logarithmic. Okay. So if you change something from negative 3 dB to positive 3 dB, you are going to notice one hell of a change. That's not going to be like going from 3 below 0 in a volume knob to above 3 in a volume knob like on an iPod or on on a TV or something like that. It's going to be a massive change. So feel free to monkey with that stuff, but do so carefully because every jump in dB packs a lot more punch than you might expect. So again, like Google is your friend for things like decibels.
Could I just and Brian,
you certainly
Brian,
can.
I think might know more about this than I do, but I think that it goes in the other direction. So as you go lower in the scale, the changes are larger. But as you go higher in the scale, the changes are smaller.
Really?
Is that right? Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know. Well, actually, VinV226 says, and I'm going to do this in his voice because it's all math. dB equals 10 log A slash A underscore 0, where A is the amplitude of the sound wave and A underscore 0 is the threshold of hearing's amplitude. So hopefully that clears it all up for you right there. Thanks, Vin. But yeah, let's get on to the last song. Because we still got another giveaway to do. Who's on the next song? Come on in, guys. We've got another Ernie Ball package to give away. That's a lovely package for you people who might play guitar, because we have 2 sets of guitar strings and some brand new guitar strap, and basically everything that you saw in the earlier giveaway for the bassist, but now you have it for guitar. So we'll be doing that. And these guys are going to have to retune because our last song, People Are Strange, is actually not exactly an E standard. It's an E standard, but tuned to A445 instead of A440.
Why would anybody do that, Dan?
I don't know, Jared McAdams. Why would anybody do that?
Why don't you just play the regular notes that everybody else plays?
I could tell you a couple of things that it might have been. It might have been the fact that when this song was mastered from the analog tape, The tape machines in the 60s that had a variable speed control may have been nudged slightly up, either accidentally or intentionally, by the engineer to give it a little bit more life or to make it sound different to them, to sweeten the tone if they were a little bit, if they felt that they were a little bit flat when they played it and they wanted to increase the pitch, they might do that. It could just be a creative decision. If they or it could just be like, yeah, I think I'm in tune, and everybody tunes to the one guy who might be a little bit out of tune. That happens surprisingly often.
Yeah. But in this case, there's a piano in the mix, so
the
that
piano,
seems unlikely.
Which is the hardest thing to tune. Maybe the piano is tuned to A445, but it's probably well, it can happen. But it's more likely, is what you're saying, is that it's probably just a tape speed error or a variance or something. So,
or an intentional this needs a little...
Right, a little goose.
Yeah.
But then why wouldn't we change it on our side? If you know that it's 5 cents high, why wouldn't you knock it down those 5 cents and make it A440 so that I don't have to twiddle little knobs at the end of my guitar? And we do that when we have permission to do that. If there's a cent offset like that, then we go back to the artist or the license holder and we ask, can we adjust this down? It's just a little bit off.
Well, yeah, you say all that, but why wouldn't you then just adjust the tone so that the tone compensates for the pitch
Oh, you
shift?
mean so that if
I bet you never thought of that.
If I'm playing an A440, why doesn't it come out at A445 in the game, since the game is the technology and that can obviously do pitch shifts? Well, because it sounds terrible.
What he just said.
Actually, you guys were doing some tests this week. Actually,
we were just messing around with it because we do have
they don't have
pitch
anything else
shifter
better to
pedal
do
in the game, and it's all right in a way. As long as if somebody's in the next room playing the guitar, then you have no idea. But I mean, I can hear that.
Right.
I can hear, especially on a hollow body like this.
Which I think most of our users have.
And even if I plug my ears, I can feel it. I can feel it coming through my belly.
So there's a weird dissonance if the instrument you're holding in your hand and you can hear in the room is playing one pitch and the game through the speakers is playing another pitch. So that's the main reason we don't do a digital pitch shift within the game, because especially if you're learning to play guitar, if you're just like, this is, Rocksmith is designed to be, I've never touched a guitar before, tell me how this thing works. So you're training your ear and you're training how you perceive sound in relation to the guitar. So if the guitar is making one sound but you hear yourself making another, that is super, super distracting. And, we've run some tests and said, well, how distracting is it? And what we found is it's like nails on a chalkboard distracting. So,
yeah. I mean, we're always here at Rocksmith Labs. The R&D team is always churning, and, who knows what we'll figure out, what magic. I mean, could you have imagined that a video game would really teach you how to play guitar?
Only in my dreams did I think of that. Wow, what if Guitar Hero was real?
Because of the geniuses in this building.
That's right. In this room.
Yeah,
on that stool.
On this
Anthony
chair.
Martinez right there. Yeah, one of the geniuses in question.
Hey.
Hi. We didn't see you come in.
Sure. I'm going to unzip.
And I'm wearing brown.
No, you're just a distant cousin.
No, I'm a distant cousin that says 2014, but
People
you guys
think
have the
it's
fancy
brown,
new
but
logo.
It's actually maroon.
It is maroon
in the room.
Yeah.
Here.
Well,
I wonder what color we look like.
You guys look blue. You got a little
we've got
purpley.
a monitor here. That's right.
Slightly purpley. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why. It's a common question. If you have the technology, why don't you do it? Because it actually makes for a better playing experience if we don't. What that translates to is, yes, occasionally you have to twiddle the little knobs and change the strings.
It's part of it.
You get better at tuning. It's more practice.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
It's a skill like everything else.
And you train your ears better.
Yeah.
I agree with all of those things. You can sort the songs in Learn a Song by tuning. So if you are one of those people that does not like to retune between every song, and I'm one of those people too, find the songs that you want to play, sort by E-flat standard or drop D or even A447. There's a couple of songs in the game that are A447. Tune to that, and then play all those songs at once, and then move to a different bracket of tuning, retune once, play like another 8 or 9 songs, and that's a pretty good way to do it. But you can do it that way. Yeah. You don't have to retune between every song. It's a matter of building sort of a way to approach the set list maybe differently than you would just by pure preference. Go for what's easiest to tune.
And it's funny, by way of background, Kokla and I were talking about this the other day when we were doing some of those experiments. When we put in the true tuning feature for Rocksmith 2014. We thought this was a huge breakthrough. Like now, I don't know if any of you out there have been with us since way back, but I don't know if you remember the Mississippi Queen controversy, which is one that was a little out of tune that we shipped because at that time we could either do it or not do it. We didn't have the option of fixing it with the true tuning, and people went crazy because it sounded horrible. It's like really, really unsatisfying to play out of tune against, to hear those dissonances where it's almost in tune but it's close, and you hear that beating of the pitches. It's really, really grating.
It really is.
And when we instituted the true tunings, we thought, great, problem solved. You'll just tune your guitar to the song; it'll sound perfectly in tune, and everybody's happy.
I have to tune my guitar.
I know,
and that seems to be it. And it's a shame. We don't want people to be discouraged just because there's a different tuning or a micro tuning that's a little bit different. It's like don't cut off the experience of what you can learn from that song, or just enjoying that great music just because I have to use my hands. Oh, come on, get with it. Anyway.
Okay, I think that sounds like he's cutting off anything else I might want to say.
Testing 1 2 testing.
Would you like to play a song?
I would love to.
You've been sitting here just like they're yammer.
I want to hear Anthony do a soliloquy of some kind.
People are strange by the People are strange by the Doors. A brisk 2-minute 22-second song.
When you're a stranger.
Faces look ugly when you're alone.
People are strange.
William Shatner, ladies and gentlemen, doing the Doors.
All right, let's.
This is a great tune. And,
what do you want to set up?
It's surprisingly tricky on guitar. There's a lot of shifting, a lot of arpeggios, and there's a.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm totally kidding. I'm sorry. There's a keyboard part arranged for guitar that's pretty tricky, and I actually talked to you about how I should, represent that, and so there was a little back and forth on it, and we decided on what's currently in game, and it's actually a lot of fun to play. It's a nice challenge.
Cool.
So let's
rise to that challenge, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's do People Are Strange by the Doors. If you have any questions about this song, we can address them after we're done. We'll also do that last Ernie Ball giveaway that we were talking about. We've got some guitar accessories to give to one of you out there, somebody who's very lucky. Somebody suggested...
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange, people are strange.
People are noting that small tunings are fine, but when you're dropping down between like E and C standard, that's a major deal. And somebody else pointed out, who was Convolved, said just tuning down to C standard isn't as effective as having completely different strings set up for C standard. We agree with that. We actually have a guitar here in the office that's tuned down to C standard for just such reasons.
When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange,
nice.
No one remembers.
It's a pre-bend.
When you're strange, when you're strange.
That's called a pre-bend, when you bend the note before you pick the note, and then you release it to get that drop in pitch. Famous covers of the song Twisted, Echo and the Bunnymen. Somebody actually, when we put it up on Facebook, I put the Doors album cover up there, and they went, Echo and the Bunnymen? I'm like, well, this song, what version do you hear first, right?
When you're strange, when you're strange.
I love that song.
That is a good song.
It's so good.
I was very happy when I found out that was coming into the game. As were a lot of Doors fans because they're like, oh yeah, finally. So well,
The bass line's awesome too.
Yes, it is.
I love that bass line. It's so good.
It's so melodic.
And I've seen a handful of people out there sort of saying like, there's no bass in these songs. Why would you do fake bass versions of keyboard parts? All these songs have real bass guitar players. They have session players,
right,
who came in and played a real bass part. And and a lot of the LA Woman and this one especially, the guitar and bass are really out front. And to me, in this song, really the bass is kind of driving the car.
Yeah. It gives it that sort of Circus Calliope, creepy vibe to the whole song.
Yeah, like carnival music.
Yeah. Connies. Yeah. I
I
have a technical question for you. J-Rocks SD says, is he picking those two strings with a pick and finger on that last part? Is that a hybrid picking thing?
So I actually tried finger picking it, but to me it sounds like, it could be hybrid picking. Certainly you can play the second and third to last phrases, the crazy arpeggios at the end of the song, with hybrid picking or just finger picking. Personally, finger picking is easier for me. But I actually leveled that part down. It's just really tricky, and it's not really a super repetitive pattern. So what I transcribed is pretty much note for note. So in order to get it spot on.
Yeah.
You just have to memorize the part.
And this kind of relates to the conversation that you and Kokol and Brian had earlier today. About the degree to which we sort of interpret and say, let's sort of streamline this, or versus just saying here are the notes that are being played. And this is a case where there's a lot of nuance in what he's doing. And if we left that out, that people would sort of be shortchanged, huh?
Totally. And actually, that came up with like the chord jabs that. There were some parts in the song where he played A major instead of A minor, and it did, at least to my ears, sound like it was kind of like a flub, because later he would change it back to A minor. So,
and I think we've all had that experience, especially where you're like sliding the same chord shape up and down, and you just, I was supposed to pick up my middle finger for this one.
Right. So I actually just went with A minor for everything to keep it in the key of E minor, and for
to be
the
what
sake
you
of
expect to hear.
consistency.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow, that is nice. That brought us back full circle to the earlier conversation. Well done.
One of the tricky. I remember when I was first starting out playing guitar. One of the trickiest things for me was after getting chord shapes down, just working on my right hand technique and trying to play something like those reggae chords that David Stevens played in "Burnin' for You," and like the chords here where you mute them shortly after you attack. That's really tough. It was tough for me when I was starting out, but there's actually a good way to go about it. I just kind of wanted to display.
Is this something that we should have the close-up
Let's
cam?
do the close-up cam.
We haven't seen the close-up cam
back.
with the nice new new borders that we have. Look, see, because there's live from the Golden
Got
Gate
a
Bridge,
manicure and everything.
And by live, I mean not at all live, but.
So this is what you could do. So for this A minor shape, which is also the same shape as the E minor chord at the 12th fret, after you play, you could just lift up and lightly touch the strings. That mutes the sound altogether. And if you wanted to be extra careful about it, you could do that, plus use your right hand to cover the strings to prevent anything from ringing out. So.
And if you can get Brian Pody's hand to help you on that whole transition too, that's great too.
And it produces like a really nice,
very
clean.
clean.
Exactly. Yeah. So, that's what I would recommend. I don't know.
Yeah, our nice new template. You no longer have to look at my butt on the main camera while I'm doing the close-up cam. But no, that's a good tip, and I think a lot of people, they don't really know how to get that sound, and so they just let things ring, and then it just sounds messy, and they're like, I get frustrated because it sounds messier than it should be.
And it sounds simpler than it is, I think. I mean, you're doing that, plus you're shifting.
Right.
It's a huge shift from the 12th fret to the 5th fret, and you don't get much time to do that, and you're messing around with different chord shapes. Yeah.
All right. I think we've run out of words.
Hard
Yeah.
knock.
By the way, whenever you turned to him, your microphone was not pointed at your mouth. So everybody said that if we were in debates, I would win because I know how to use a microphone. Hey. Now let's just make noises on the microphone. Hey, let's do that last giveaway before people riot in the chat room. It's the Ernie Ball guitar pack, also with that great music. What's the name of this piece?
Now This.
This song is called Now This. This is one of the original pieces that you will find buried within the Rocksmith 2014 lessons.
That's right. And you can play a version of this in the jazz chords lesson, also the walking bass 2 lesson. Both feature. This is a slightly different, an extended version that has an organ solo and stuff.
Sure, because it's fun.
But yeah, this is all Matt Montgomery.
I love this piece. Well, in any case, you don't get Matt Montgomery, and you already own Now This, but what you will win, of course, is everything you see here, with one substitution. Instead of the M Steels, we've got Cobalt Slinkies, which are wrapped with cobalt instead of standard, like, nickel, which is what the regular Slinkies are. And that gives you higher output, wider dynamic range, and more volume. So if you are looking to have more crunch in your strings and just tell everybody, I'm playing guitar, whenever you play guitar, you might want to try the Ernie Ball Cobalt strings. So you'll get 2 sets of guitar strings, plus you get the Wonder Wipes. You'll get a brand new strap in either black or olive green, depending on what I grab when I pick it out, because they sent me 5 of each, and I'm not...
Depending on the purity of your soul.
Yes. If you can yet be redeemed, perhaps you'll get olive green. But if there's no hope for you, you will get black. And of course, a peg winder, 12 Ernie Ball medium picks, and then 3 of our Rocksmith picks as well. All this can be yours if your name is picked at random from the raffle that Jason Paradise is currently running. Do remember that if you win, we need to know your name, your address, and your phone number so that we can get the package to you. We don't keep that. You don't get entered into any nefarious database where we start selling you crap. We're already selling you crap. You showed up willingly. That's your fault. That's on you. But also check your other messages, and that's where Jason will be like, hey, you won. Please send me all your information. Jason will then send that information to me, and I will send out boxes through the airplanes that flap their wings like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
That's spot on.
And also, remember, if you won the base pack last week, we didn't get your information yet. I was sitting here going, I'm ready to go to the mailroom. What's up?
Anthony Martinez.
Yes, Anthony Martinez, California. 90 something. So
210.
but yeah, we love giving those things away, and thank you to Ernie Ball for supplying those prizes. We will give away more next week when we do this show again, because we still didn't get it right. So, karma says we have to keep doing it every week until we get it right. Next week we'll have a completely different batch of music from an artist or artists that we're not going to reveal yet, but we'll probably reveal tomorrow in the forums. So if you go to rocksmith.com and you go to the forums, you might see a little thing that says Dan's clue for the DLC that's coming out on the 22nd.
You got a good clue.
I have an interesting puzzle. It's actually been pretty collaborative because I kind of every once in a while I just draw a blank. I'm like, I don't know what to do this time. And so Chris Wu, Squirrely Ninja, he's been on the show before. I said, Chris, what do you think? And he goes, well, you could do this. And I'm like, oh, you're brilliant. That's it. That's the in. I love that. And we've never done that. And that's great. And then I had lunch with Brian McCune, and he said, or you could do, no, that's also great. I'll add that in. So that's kind of where it is. So we'll have something. It's not entirely done. Because now that I have stakeholders, I'm trying to get their opinion. Do you think this is the right way to do it? So if you like brain teasers, that's basically what this is. We'll have a brain teaser that will hint at what's coming for next week's DLC, and that'll be in the rocksmith.com forums tomorrow whenever I post it. There is no set time. And a lot of people get upset when I post it and then I don't immediately confirm if they think they've got the right answer. I have a lot to do on Fridays, guys, and I would love to just sit there and go, nope, that's not it. That's not it. Oh, you're getting close. You're getting hot, cold. No. I have to go to meetings. I have things that need to get done.
That's what I do. I just sit and I watch all the posts.
He just goes,
then they get it.
Idiot, and he drinks at work.
Like, well, I just watch them squirm.
Yep.
Yeah,
I won't lie. Sometimes I enjoy that.
Pretty
too.
satisfying.
So we'll do that tomorrow. If you have any further questions for us or the team or anything that you want to know, feel free to drop us a line. It's easiest to get a hold of us through Twitter, honestly, at @RocksmithGame or at Ubisoft Studio SF. Same thing, almost same thing on Facebook. We're /Rocksmith or /Ubisoft Studio SF. SF. And yes, happy South Park week. Yay! As you know, we're also working on a South Park game called The Fractured Butthole. Everybody loves to hear me say that in the chat. No, I'll explain it to you later when you're older. So season 19 started this week. It's available on Hulu.com. If you missed the show, or just set your DVRs now and watch South Park, because we're doing that. It was actually kind of fun. The whole staff that's working on that game watched this week's episode together at lunch over pizza. It was a beautiful bonding moment. So we'll be back next week with more stuff. Thanks very much. Here's another look at the Doors Song Pack 2. This is the trailer. This is the DLC, available now in all regions, on all platforms. And we appreciate your ongoing support. Tell a friend that you had fun watching the stream, even if you didn't have fun watching the stream. We'll see you next time. You always release code.
When you're a stranger, faces look ugly when you're alone. Women seem wicked when you're unwanted. Streets are uneven when you're down. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, well, I think I need a down about an hour ago. Took a look around me with a window, with a little girl in the Hollywood bungalow. Are you a lucky little lady in the city of light? Or does another long thing go? City of night, city of night, city of night, city of night. Wow! Oh!
T for teen.
T for tea.